Hello everyone. Today I'd like to welcome you and introduce Sharon Gerd. For a little bit of background, Sharon is my mentor and coach, and also taught me everything I know as far as coaching and other things. So I'm really proud to introduce her to you today. Now let us listeners know a little bit about you and your business, Sharon.
Well, thank you, Dee. I'm really excited that you asked me to be on this interview because, I love sharing out what I'm passionate about. So I'm the founder of SMJ Coaching Institute, where I help coaches and speakers grow their business. Now, I help all business owners, in fact, because a lot of people have modalities like hypnosis or Reiki or massage, and I help them transform that business into a coaching business. So where they have clients longer term, paying more money, having more time, more life, more money. So we incorporate all of that into that business structure, and it gives them an outlook on how to see things differently in their business. Because I want them helping people holistically. We're just talking about the whole area of their life and business, not just the presenting problem. So a lot of people come to me and say, I need a marketing plan. But it's more than the marketing plan. It might be their beliefs or, their limiting beliefs or their focus or their clarity or their structure or their systems. So there's a whole lot of things that we like to incorporate, to help them grow themselves and their business.
So who is your target market? Who do you like to help?
I like to help people who actually want to change. Because when they come into my world, we start changing the way you think, the way you behave, the actions you take, the people you hang around with, your life, your business structure. And so if you come to me going, well, this is how I've done it for the last 20 years and this is how I'm going to continue to do it, then it makes it very difficult for me to help you. But if you're open to new learnings, you're open to change, and you really want, and this is important for me, really want to change other people's lives. Because I'm very passionate about that. It's the ripple effect. I love changing people's lives, and I want my clients, my coaches in my program, my speakers in my program to go out and change other people's lives so we can help a load more people in the world.
You mentioned a couple of things there, so perhaps you could share your service types with my audience. So some of the programs.
Yeah, so the program in the SMJ Coaching Institute is my Master Coach program. So people come in, I run two events called I run a number of events, but my two signature events are Grow Your Coaching Biz Workshop and Grow Your Speaking Biz Workshop. So if you're a speaker or a coach, you may come along to one of those 3-day events and learn how to speak from stage or learn how to coach clients. I believe speaking and coaching are intertwined. If you're on the stage and you're speaking, I believe you're coaching. Because if you're coaching, the definition of coaching to me is moving people from A to B, pain to pleasure. And so if you're on stage speaking, sharing your story, you're coaching people to make a change in their life or buy into your program. And so I believe they go together. Yeah. And then when people come to my events, then they have the opportunity to join my Master Coach program, where it's an intimate setting where we've got the strategies and the processes and the modalities, and then we go about growing your business around your life. We go, what do you want your life to look like? And now let's grow that business around that life, not just get a bit of life around your business. And then they can move into my trainers program, where they can train on my intellectual property. They have all the access that they need in editable form, so they can edit it to what they need or how they want to present it. And I coach them more at a one-on-one level there, taking their training and their teaching and their sharing and their events to a whole new level. So I get lots of people doing lots of different things, but yet we're the same. So, they come from different backgrounds, from nursing and teaching. And that's what I love about the program, is that it's very supportive, in a real collective environment, yet we're all different, bring all different things to the group. And I love that variety of that when you're coaching and speaking, you can come from any sort of town, demographic. You can be female, male, young, old, it doesn't matter. You can go out and change people's lives. And I really like that collectiveness in my program.
I've enjoyed that side of it too. So you've got quite a story. What do you think was crucial to your success? And perhaps you can share a little of your story with us as well.
Yeah, I think for me, my success is based around, there's a number of things, but the important things are that I never wavered. I always knew I was helping people, whether I was in real estate, whether I was in franchising, whether I'm in, the coaching industry. I always knew I was helping people get from A to B. I was never worried about the product or the service. I was worried about the pain people were in and how to get them to pleasure. And I never lost focus of that. I really kept the clarity around why I started the business or what we were doing in that business. That, in our high-paying business, we clean air conditioners. It's not about cleaning air conditioners. It's about helping people with respiratory problems and asthma and, the environment. And so there's all these other factors. The other thing is, I think that helped with my success is around the systems. I believe that people run the systems run the business. People do not run your business, they run your systems. And I've been very disciplined in my systems. Everything we do has a tick sheet, and that allows for us to have more time, increased productivity, better clarity, and we don't have to think. We don't wake up at night thinking, oh, I didn't do that, or I forgot about that, because we have the systems in place to make sure that everything runs smoothly. And I can take a month off and know that the businesses are going to run really smoothly without me. And even when you're employing new team members, the training is minimal because the tick sheets are there to help them, navigate their way through their learnings. I think the other thing that helped me was being consistent and persistent. And I say this when anybody says to me, how do you grow a business fast? It's about being consistent in what you do. Yeah, sometimes we start things and then we stop, and then we go, oh, we used to do that, but now we don't. We ask ourselves, well, why is that? So I say, if you're going to start something, you start it as if it's for the rest of your life. Can you sustain that? I'm not saying that you shouldn't change, but strategically change. Go, this is no longer serving me well anymore, and I'm going to change or stop and start something else. I don't just stop. I'm very strategic about the consistency in what I do. I'm really persistent. If I want to work with someone, or I want to get that client, or I want to be featured in that magazine, or, I'm very persistent about that. I don't just send an email and go, oh, they didn't call me back, or you didn't email me back, so I give up. I'm very persistent about achieving my goals.
That's set a really good example for your trainees. I know that for sure. I was going to go somewhere with that and I've just forgotten. I know. With COVID, a lot of things have had to change for different businesses. How have you negotiated those changes? And perhaps you could also share about some of the diversification you have with other businesses.
Yeah. Firstly, in the coaching business, and how I teach my coaches and speakers is to have a business model that you can operate anywhere in the world. in any environment. So it's fully online. This was before COVID, fully online. So, my idea is that you can travel around, because I love traveling, COVID, love traveling. And so I wanted a business that I could adapt to any environment. And I didn't once think about COVID, but it was a very good example of how the business model works really well. So the first thing is build a business model so you can be anywhere in the world. And then the second thing is making sure that you have in your business 10 forms of income. Yeah. So we always make sure that, like in 20, I had 17 international speaking engagements. So I was going to be overseas more times than I was in Australia. If that was my only form of income in my business model, then I would have been in the corner in a rocking chair, in a fetal position, sucking my thumb, going crazy. So, but I had 9 other areas of my business that was generating income, and then it just increased income. Because when COVID started, people wanted online training, and so my online program, escalated, and so I could focus on those. And then it's sort of like I keep saying, I keep forming this circle, because I draw it in a circle with all the 10 areas on the outside. But then also I have, 10 areas of business. Yeah, so my SMJ coaching business is not my only business. So I have HydroClean, which is our franchise company in 45 countries. We have other products and service companies. And so we have income from those companies coming in, and they fluctuate as well, in different environments. Yeah. So I always make sure that I've got different ways of attracting people. What are the 10 ways I attract people? 10 ways of earning income, 10 different businesses. I just keep breaking it down like that, rather than putting all of your eggs in one basket. And then when COVID comes, hoo-ha, we're in trouble. Yeah. But, and people told me prior to COVID that you couldn't do hypnosis or a coaching or timeline therapy online. People were at me in the industry saying that you won't get the same results, or as good a results, blah, blah, blah. And I ignored that. That was just an old school belief within the industry, because they've done it that way for 20 years. They built a belief around it. I was like, new age, whatever that means. I was coming into the industry with fresh eyes. I'm like, no, I can do this online. I can be anywhere in the world, and I can get amazing results. If you believe you can, then you can. And so what I did was, just broke the mold a bit. Then COVID came, and then they had to reassess their own beliefs, because they couldn't see clients in-house or in, their clinic. And they realized that they could get the results, if not better, by doing it virtually and online. And so for me, I was in good stead coming into COVID, that my business was sustainable in any environment. Did I have to change? Yes, there were some changes, absolutely, in some of my businesses. But I really take note of how I can design those businesses in any environment. Yeah.
I've crewed on some of your online trainings, and it has been as easy as it was in person when I did it on the Gold Coast. And Tony Robbins is one who's also converted over, and it's mind-boggling what's capable. Yeah, the capabilities of Zoom and other platforms now. It's just brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love change. I'm not frightened by it. So I'm always looking to change, always looking for that forward momentum with strategic change. Love it.
I think loving change is a really key component of entrepreneurship. So, so who are your mentors, and who do you network with?
I have a number of coaches, and I have them in every area of my business. So what area of my business I want to improve, I look for that person who has done it before me or is doing very well, has the knowledge and expertise. There's two things I look for in coach, and that is, one, that they have the knowledge, that they have done it, have some expertise in it, or can help me in some way. And the second thing is they care, that they really have a true, genuine care for my success. Because some people can go and sell you a program or a package, but don't have that care. And then there's a lot of people who have care, but don't have the knowledge. Like my parents are my mentors. They have a lot of care. They've never owned a business before. So I cannot rely on them to bring that knowledge to the table. But they bring a lot of care and stability and substance to my world. So I look for those people around me in what I bring. And I turned 50 this year, and I said at my very small COVID party, because I actually got a little one, was that each one of my family and friends brings something to me, and so giving in that. They're, my confidant, they're my go-to hug people, when I need a hug. And when someone, needs to give me a kick up the bum, I look for that person. When I need someone to, just let me boo-hoo and whinge to them for a while, I go to that person. Some of my drinking buddies, when I just need a good margarita. And so in your world, for my advice to the people who are listening and watching this, find those people and know what, they're bringing to you, and not in a taking way, but how they give to you and what they bring to your life. I network with people who are positive. I don't like the negative. I don't allow it in my life. Yeah, it's easy for us to say, when someone's negative, take them out of your life. It's not always doable, yeah? But limit time, know that they are like that, have the respect for their model of the world, but don't allow that to come into you. You don't take that stuff on. But where I can, I do not have negative people. I look for those forward-thinking, crazy, happy, fun people that are not blaming governments, COVID, blaming anything external. I look for the people who are looking within and how can they make this world better? How can they learn more? How can they, open up and, respect other people's opinions, So I look for those people.
That sounds good. So how do you stay motivated within yourself?
Yeah, I know. I'd like to say that every day I get up and I'm like, rah, rah. I'm not. It's not, we're not perfect people. And sometimes on our Facebook show reels, that's what it looks like every day. But I have a personal trainer 3 times a week at 5 a.m. I get up at 4, get on a stationary bike, get to the gym at 5. And sometimes I turn up there going, I'm making up the numbers. Like I don't want to be here, I don't know where the motivation is right now. But, he always reminds me I've done the hardest bit, and that was get out of bed, So once you're out of bed and up, the motivation starts to come. For me, the motivation is not the first thing. It's the doing, then the motivation comes. Because if I heard a lady say once that motivation is like a bad boyfriend. They're never there when you need a plate. And so that was Briggs, from Biggest Loser here in Australia. It used to be. So, and I really agree with that, because you look around for motivation, it's not there. Well, how do you get motivation? Well, start doing. Start doing the things that you like. And as you do and you get successes, and that brings more motivation to do more. When I help somebody change their life, I get this really warm feeling in my heart, and that motivates me to do more. That's where it comes. It comes from the doing, yeah? It's never there to begin with. There might be excitement, but the motivation comes from the act of,
Yeah, so that's momentum, isn't it? Sort of taking that first step and then rolling on to the next step in each case.
Yeah. Get those successes, get those small wins, celebrating those, and that just produces that motivation to do more and more and more. It's almost like a drug, right? Because I get this
Yes.
warm feeling in my heart, and I want more of that. I want more. Like, I want to see people happy. I want to see them succeed, and I just want more of that.
Oh dear. So what would you like to be remembered for?
That I was a nice person. That I was really genuinely nice. I named my business Sharon Gerd Events because I work in a timeline. I do a lot of timeline therapy, and I named my business that because in somebody's timeline, I wanted them to be the little pin, just that little event in their timeline when they said, I met Sharon and this changed my life. It was an event. And it might have been that I smiled at somebody, and when I smiled at them, it changed something for them. It doesn't have to be dramatic, It might have been that I just said a nice hello, that I bought somebody a coffee. Like, yes, I do big things for people, but not necessarily all of that, it is the most important. It's just those little dots in someone's timeline when they went, because of Sharon, I changed my thoughts, I changed my behaviour, or I took action. Those steps are important to me.
Yeah. Well, I can attest that you've certainly done that for me. My life has gone in directions that I could not have imagined from when we met, I think, in 2017. So much has happened, so I thank you for that. And I also thank you for your time today. It's been really wonderful to talk to you. So thank you.
I'm really grateful that you've asked me to be a part of this. So it's really super cool.
Thank you.